Hey people, welcome to Kenneth MoneyMatters. I hope you'll manage to hear me because it's a bit windy out here. I'm at a palace, it's called the Belvedere Palace, Vienna, Austria. So I'm still exploring Vienna. So if you want to see the palace, beautiful place, was once owned by the king. Of course now it's a museum. And then this was his, this is what you call his garden. You know, when you're looking for gardens, this is the kind of moats. They call them the moats, right? This is the kind of water you want in your garden. It looks beautiful, guys. So, but now let's talk about money, because we're at a rich place. This is a rich home, basically. So we want to talk about something that makes us rich. What are some of the lessons that the rich people teach their children that the poor people do not teach their children? What are some of the lessons that the children from rich homes do get that the children from poor homes don't get? And because these things set you up for success, it's very important we talk about it right now so that it can help us with parenting, can help us, guide our young ones, mentor the young ones, and show them what is the right path when it comes to money and enjoying life. Because money always has to work for you. I'm always pro money making your life better. Let's get into it. What are some of the lessons that the rich people teach their kids? So just let me give a disclaimer before I begin this topic for the day. So what do I mean when I say rich? Because a lot of people will be saying rich is silent. But what do I mean personally when I say rich? So if you're struggling to get money, you're poor. If you have enough money and you're not struggling, you're not doing anything you don't like, you're rich. So there are only two sides according to this conversation. So when I say rich, that's what I mean. So let's get that clear. So number one, what's the first lesson? It's attitude towards money. Most people, and I would say I'm actually in this category, most people are given a negative attitude towards money. Our view towards money is so negative. Most of the time you are told, oh, they were rich, they stole some money. If someone is rich, they are basically crooked, or they are criminals, or they got it the wrong way, or they made some people poor for them to get that riches. So we got some funny attitude towards riches. We don't like people who are rich. We don't appreciate people who have made it. We don't appreciate people who have made money even the right way. So the rich people will be basically teaching their kids, you know what, money is a good thing. Money will make your life comfortable. Those who are rich have worked for their money, and you can work for your money too. So that attitude, the view towards money, is very different between the rich people and the poor people. And most of the time we've been brought up to hate those who are rich and not like them, not appreciate them, and not allow them to mentor us. So therefore we keep that distance between us and the rich people. We keep that distance between the families that are seen to be poor and the ones seen to be rich. And if you don't get any mentorship, then where are you going to go? You're going to remain in that group that you've selected. So that's the number one lesson. We have a negative attitude towards money. So the rich have been taught very positive attitude towards money. To them, money is a good thing. To them, money changed their life. To them, money is a source of enjoyment and a source of having comfort in this life. But to a poor person, money is just a source of evil. Money is evil, money is dirty, money is bad, money is blood. All those negative stuff. It shaped our thinking. So what is the second lesson that the rich people teach their children? That's independence. And this is extremely important. We guard our children too much. The poor people guard our children too much. When it comes to parenting, you don't need to guard your child so much that they don't know what life is out there. Sometimes you give them independence. That independence gives them value. It gives them principle. It makes them form their own purpose in life. So the rich will always tell their kids to be a bit more independent, to work for their own stuff, to get their own value in life, to create their own purpose. I've seen a lot of people from billionaires' homes. They start their own things. They are encouraged to pursue their own value in life, their own purpose in life, their own goals in life. So that independence is important. Sometimes let's not guard so much the children that we think we're protecting them from the world, that the world is so bad, the world is so cruel, the world is so dirty, that you want to provide everything. But you're providing everything, but you're poor in this sense. So in this case, you're not providing everything. You're actually providing a bad attitude towards money. You're providing lack of independence to the child. So let's give our children independence. So the rich people always do one thing. They make sure that the children understand that they require independence in this life, and despite the path that they have kept, the children can keep their own path. And point number two actually ties into something very important. Most rich people ensure that they encourage their children to pursue the things they like. Now this is extremely important because if you pursue something you like, money will always come. Most of us are so busy, especially poor children, they're so busy pursuing where the money is, pursuing the professions with money, pursuing the professions with status in society, pursuing the professions with titles. They forget that they should be pursuing professions that actually reward them with happiness. And this is not their fault. The fault is with the parents. The parents have taught their children, they have chosen for their children the paths to take. So for example, in our society, you'll be told you want to be a lawyer, be a doctor, be an engineer. There are those professions that one has to take to be seen as someone in the society. So for example, even in my case, I actually did some of these professions and I've now dropped them, but because I did them from a wrong perspective, I did them from a wrong foundation. My decision to do them wasn't based on my joy and happiness and fulfillment. It was based on what I learned from the parents and from the society, that this is what you need to do to get money. But that's not how it works. Money eludes you when you look for it. Money eludes you when you chase it. But when you do the things you love, you attract money. The rich people teach their children to pursue their passion. Poor people do not teach their children that. They choose what their children should do. Lesson number 3. What does the rich people teach their children that the poor don't? Building social networks. They say your network is your network. And the rich have mastered the art of ensuring their children build their own social network. You are relating to other families that have actually something to offer. Not just any family. They actually choose where their children go to. They actually choose what their children do. They actually choose who their children see. So that's very important, building that social network, having people around you that can guide your path, having people who can hold your hand, because this society at the end of the day is about networks. It's about people holding your hands. It's about people knowing your strengths, your skills, and the things that you can do. So the rich people have taught their children to build those networks from a very young age. And this is also important. They ensure that they market the skills and the abilities of their children. So this is separate. So they allow these children to be themselves, to build their own networks through their friendships, through different families that are able, but they also make sure they market them. I've gone to so many high-level functions where the rich come with their children right at hand. It's a very high-level function. But for us, when I was growing up, my dad could not allow me near visitors, so I could see people like the MPs visiting my home. Like personally, I've seen an MP sitting at our home at a time whereby I was just, I think, finishing Form 4 or something. But I wasn't allowed to actually express my interest and talk to them. And I'm very political. I'm very apt in my brain. I'm very intelligent. I can have a conversation. So I wasn't even allowed to just go and say hello to the MP when they are coming to the home. When these people are very high in society are coming to your place, you're expected to be in your own cocoon somewhere seated until they leave. That's not what they do. They allow their children that access, and they also build them. They tell them, you know what, my son can do 1, 2, 3. My daughter can do 1, 2, 3. These are the skills that we do have and that can help in doing 1, 2, 3. And this is how they thrive. They don't go for employment. Sometimes they finish their school and somebody picks them up and put them into apprenticeship somewhere else, and they get these skills and they get rich. And then we keep saying these people are stealing from us. No, they're not stealing from us. They're not stealing from the poor people. They have been taught and they have been marketed by their parents. This is lesson number 4, or is it number 5? I think it's number 4. Now, the rich people also teach their children how money works. A lot of children from poor homes do not understand how the money works. You grow up, you're just seeing your parents fighting about money, or you hear your dad saying, I don't have money, or you hear your mom saying, I don't have money. You hear them fight about money, but you're never actually told how does it work. So you get 1,000 shillings, you get 100 shillings, but you don't even know the value of that money. So the difference is the rich people teach their children the value of money from a very young age. You are told this is how much you need, this is how much you need for this particular bill, this is why we are discussing with mommy or with daddy how to go about this, because you have to work for the money, you have to earn it. So they are taught how money works, they are taught how to earn it, how to spend it, and how to make it grow. So they know when I get this money, it has this value. I don't just waste it, because there's a way in which it comes to me, there's a way I need to spend it, and there's a way I need to have more of it. So when you teach the children in society how money works, they start from a very young age, because it's just an open slate. They have a brain that is very intelligent. They get to understand actually how does it work from a very young age, how does the society function when it comes to finances. And this is very important, because most people, especially from where I come from, people are not told how money works. It's that private issue, it's that private topic that not so many people want to talk about. Not so many people want to discuss money. Not so many parents want to tell their children, oh, I'm earning this much, and this is how much we put on bills, and this is how much I'm using on investments. How many of us were actually told that? Not many, I'm sure. So you don't know how it works. You just live there, you know that bills are paid, the house is paid, and then you grow up to 18 years old, you don't even know anything about paying bills. You don't know anything about earning money. You don't know anything about spending money. So how do you expect this person to actually be financially savvy when they grow up? And just to continue on that point, they also don't just teach them how money works. They show them how money works. For example, I've seen a lot of rich kids with credit cards or debit cards. I've seen in Finland, at a very young age, people are given cards to manage. So you have your own bank account with your own card with some little money in it, and you're told, you know what, this money will be taking you for this period. Manage it. Buy the things you need to buy. Buy your lunch at school. They teach you how to do it. So practically, they tell you, go to the shop, buy 1, 2, 3. So they show you how to do it, and you have your own account. So these are lessons that really impact positively when the child grows up. 5 is assets and liabilities. The rich people teach their kids the difference between assets and liabilities. I've done a video on assets and liabilities, and you can check it out. It's very simple. Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money away from your pocket. So they have been told, you know what, these are the things you need to buy to make you rich, and these are the things you need to buy, you don't need to buy, that will make you poor. But I'm not saying they don't live a luxurious life. These people actually drive some of the best cars, because actually you will see in the society, it's those rich people who drive some of the best cars, they fly some of the best private jets, they use some of the biggest yachts. So you'll be asking yourself, why do they buy those things? They buy those things using their assets. So the assets generate the money to spend on the liabilities. It's a very small percentage of their money that goes onto those things. But a poor person will be spending all their money onto those liabilities, and therefore they don't have any assets. So in that sense, whether you have these liabilities, you're still a poor person. At the end of the day, your assets cannot account for your liabilities. So these children are told at a young age, buy 1, 2, 3, or invest in these stocks to give you money to buy this private jet. So these are the things that are taught at a very young age. So it's just difference between assets and liabilities. If you don't teach them now, they won't know. So point number 6 is confidence. Confidence is something that may seem like a cliche, but it's very important. The way the rich people teach their kids about confidence and the way poor people teach their kids about confidence. So rich people will always teach their kids to go for opportunities, be bold, take your space, speak up, market yourself. But the poor people will always teach their children to cower away. And in our schools, you actually see this. Most of the time when people are coming from government offices, the minister is coming, and the president is coming, people are told, to behave in a certain way, a way that makes you cower. You're that little thing, while this big person is coming. So we have this big man syndrome, and the poor person is taught to, stay away from the big man, because you do not deserve to be there. You're not enough to be in the presence of these kind of people, and therefore you don't have the bravado to actually approach these people and market yourself and tell them, you like something to drink, start a conversation and look at them in the face and stare at them straightforward and tell them what you think, what your skills are. So if you don't have that skill, if you don't have that power to actually approach someone and talk about yourself and market yourself and talk about your good stuff, because again, we are also not taught to exalt ourselves, we're not taught to appraise ourselves, we're not taught to praise ourselves and show how good we are. So we're always cowering and so fearful of saying what we are, what we want, and what our skills are. And this is a very big thing, because a lot of poor people teach their children to cower away. Like I said, my example, when the MP comes, you expect it to be somewhere away, somewhere out of sight, until the person goes, and then you come back inside. You don't grow up with the confidence to approach people and tell them, this is what I want. This is a big lesson for people, and this is in our schools, in the society. The poor people are expected to do what the society expects and not what they want. Number 8, I've done 7 points already. I hope you're getting value out of this video. If you do, please leave a like. Make sure we push this content out there to other people, and please share and comment. Let me know your ideas. Number 8, what does the rich teach their kids? They are not entitled. The children of the rich people are not entitled to anything in life. So basically, these are people who know that they must earn what they have, and this goes back to the attitude. They know that whatever their dad or their parents or their grandparents have is something they worked for, and therefore they know that in this life you have to work for, or you have to actually look for whatever you deserve in life. You won't get it on a silver platter. They're not entitled to things. They have been taught not to be too entitled. And that's why I said they teach them on how to pursue their own paths. They pursue their own passion, things that give them their own pleasures, things that make them happy. In that sense, they're not entitled to knowing, I'm actually not going to work for anything, or I'm just going to sit and enjoy my father's wealth, because they know this money goes. They know that if you do not retain wealth dwindle all the time. I'm sitting in a palace right now. I'm sure some of these families don't even exist anymore. If they did not maintain that wealth within the family, trust you me, it ends. It doesn't matter how much is it. So the poor people do not teach their children not to be entitled. Some people are very entitled. I've spoken to some people, and someone, even the way they come for help, or even the way they ask for things, is with so much entitlement. It's like you have to help them. But in this life, nobody has to help you. You have to help yourself. So I've dealt with a lot of people and a lot of young people, and they are so entitled sometimes. And the funny thing is, they're not rich. And they're not from rich families. How did they get that opportunity to be so entitled to people's energy, people's time, and people's money? Because entitlement is not about cash or money. It's also about energy and time. So if you know that other people have the right to their own time, you are not entitled to it. So they are never entitled. Last point, the rich people teach their kids consistency, and they also teach their kids some daily habits that bear results. One thing that the poor kids do not have and are not taught is how to be very consistent and how to nurture certain daily habits that will bear them results. They want things right here, right now. It should happen immediately. If they want money, they want it now. So they have lots of wishes and lots of dreams and lots of these funny things, but they actually don't put them into action and find ways in which they can pursue them, because these things require consistency. These things require daily habits that will therefore bear those results. But like we say, we're talking about children. So what do they need? They need support from the parents. They need support system, not just the parents, but people around them. The society around you should support you towards what you want, towards your goals, towards those financial dreams that you have. A lot of poor people do not offer that support, that structure that a child can grow and nurture themselves and believe in themselves and achieve what they want. So they are not consistent. They're not about being consistent. They're not given any daily habits that can bear good results. Hope you understand the points. I've given 9 points, and this is the beginning of a money and parenting series, which I've been planning to do for a while now. I just hope that it has given you some value, and please drop a like. And now, just to conclude, let me just talk to the parents and to the adults and to the guardians around these children, because I was talking about what the rich teach their children, and I was focusing on what values you should impart in your children. But now it also goes to the parents and the guardians and the caretakers. What do you do every single day? So you can't teach your children about attitude towards money. You can't teach them about confidence. You can't teach them about all those points I was talking about if you're not doing them yourself. So for example, I always tell people that if you want to advise me, I want to see your life being a reflection of what I want in my life. So a lot of people advised me before, but I disregard their advice sometimes because their life is not what I want to achieve, but they're advising me based on what they have followed in life. So if that's the path they follow to get to where they are, I don't want to follow that path for sure, because I don't want to be there. I want to be in a completely different place. So as parents, we have to show our children by way of action that this is where we're going to, this is the road we're following. So if you're talking about confidence, this is the path you're following. If you're talking about consistency, that's the path you're following. Not just speaking and talking out of books and out of YouTube videos and stuff. Follow this same advice, do them, and that's the best lesson you can ever give them. Actually, the lesson doesn't even come from you sitting them down and telling them. The real lesson, comes from you showing them what should be done, from them seeing and copying exactly what you do. And children are very smart. I've never seen a child who does not copy actions of an adult. They're very smart. They will copy what you do. So also change your life too and follow the same guidelines. Thank you guys. Until next time.